Selamat pagi, saat ini saya sedang kedatangan tamu dari Edinburgh Napier University. Beliau adalah kepala untuk bidang studi Arts dan Creative Study. Kita tanya-tanya mengenai apa itu bidang studinya dan apa sebetulnya yang bisa kita pelajari kalau kita ikut di program studinya mereka. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It is morning in the UK anyway.
That's true.
Right, Paul. Tell us a bit about yourself before you are now. You are now being an academics at Edinburgh Napier University, and your study program, or you're heading a group of people with a lot of creativities and arts. So, what did you do before?
Well, before I spent nearly 20 years as a film and TV director. And then I came to Edinburgh Napier in 2006 to be the film directing tutor. And I set up and ran a number of postgraduate film programs and taught on the undergraduate film and television programs as well. And but I maintained my creative practice as well. So I couldn't direct anymore. It's too, and being a full-time academic, it's not possible. So nowadays I work mainly as a video artist as well as doing my academic work.
Right.
And since 2015 I've been in charge of internationalization for the School of Arts and Creative Industries.
Right. A lot of students, when they see the word of film in a prospectus of a university or in a website of a university, they will think automatically that I want to learn this because I want to be able to make a film. Although actually a few other universities, when they say film, they don't actually about making film, about making a movie, but it's all about history. So your program is more on practical basis, I believe.
Yes, our undergraduate and postgraduate film programs are principally about filmmaking. Documentary, but also fiction, mainly fiction at postgraduate. Almost entirely fiction at postgraduate.
Okay.
So making movies, quite so. We also, because I don't want anyone to think we're not serious as well as a university, but so between 20 and 30% of our program, it's also academic study.
Right.
So we do teach the history and we do teach the critical side of understanding of filmmaking. It's just that these courses are principally designed to be filmmaking programs for filmmakers.
So that means they will be studying about the history. They'll be studying about the basic principle of film itself. At the same time, they'll also be studying the technicality of making film.
Technical, aesthetic, practical, production, protocols, health and safety, everything that prepares you for a life in the industry. Of course, it's skewed towards the UK industry because you can't prepare somebody for every single industry, but we hope that the principles of practical work in the UK are, in filmmaking terms, are among the best in the world, and that therefore any student from anywhere in the world can take these skills, they're transferable skills, they can take them to their industry back home, and that this will be of great practical use to them in a career back home, or a career in the UK, Hollywood, Bollywood, wherever they end up, because the filmmaking industry is an international business.
Yeah, right. If a student, when you talk about your postgraduate studies, would you require someone with a background of film as well to be able to go to your postgraduate study?
Ordinarily, somebody who goes into our postgraduate film program will have a background in filmmaking.
Okay.
That doesn't mean to say that they necessarily have to have done a film degree, although usually they have, but they do need to have a portfolio that demonstrates that they can work, that they can make a film, that they have made films in the past.
Yes.
We take students in directing, cinematography, editing, sound. We also have a separate screenwriting program, and screenwriters work with our practical filmmakers, so hand in hand. The film producers and directors work with scripts that have been written by the screenwriters. So our screenwriting program is similar. We're looking for an aptitude, and that aptitude includes some practical work that's already been executed.
Yeah, right. Then, if we are talking about your undergraduate studies, it's principally for someone who wants to start their career in making film. They'll go for one of your degree in undergraduate study, yeah? Is that correct?
Well, to be honest with you, more if we're talking about film still, we have a lot of international students in film at under and postgraduate.
Right.
Obviously, our undergraduate program is 4 years long, so it's
Yeah.
a much bigger investment of a student's time and money to come and study that. But probably about 10% of our undergraduate students in film are international students,
Right.
whereas probably about 70% of our postgraduate students are international students in film. A very high percentage.
I see. So we've been talking about film, and I'm aware, and most students also aware, that Edinburgh Napier do provide photography courses as well on the undergraduate level. If you can please explain a bit about the photography course.
Yeah, I mean our photography undergraduate is a very prestigious course. It's quite interesting because we don't have a house style, so you can specialize as you wish in documentary photography, constructed fine art photography, fashion photography. You can take the sort of journey that you want on this program. We have very interesting faculty members in our photography program, including a number of artists who've exhibited in internationally renowned museums and whose work is in museum collections in different parts of the world. And our students, our graduates take part in an annual show which is arranged by the Stills Gallery in Edinburgh, which is a globally recognized photography gallery in Edinburgh. And this show includes graduates from all the art colleges in Scotland. This year's show, we had two of our graduates in this very small show, which is more than most other art colleges had. And one of those students was in fact an award winner. There was only 2 award winners in the entire show. So this is a reflection of the kind of level of prestige that this program operates at. Also within this program, because it's so much a part of visual contemporary art now, students have the opportunity to work with video art. We have a number of internationally recognized video art practitioners working within our faculty who teach on this program.
I see. Right. So students will, I would say, they will have additional, they'll be listening, they'll be hearing, they'll be seeing experiences from those who are professionals in the field, yeah?
Professionals and globally recognized often, our faculty
Of course,
members.
the globally recognized. What do you expect from someone who wants to go to your faculty? If, for example, a high school graduate, they're applying for a program of photography, what would you expect from them to show you so that they are worth to be considered for the program? Would you looking at their portfolio, or
Even to come into first year, we would be looking at their portfolio, yes.
okay.
And that portfolio obviously needs to show some aptitude. It depends what level you want to come in, because we have direct entry. But if you come in at first year, then we're looking for an aptitude, of course. As you progress higher, you're looking for some more of a critical understanding, a greater aesthetic understanding, a greater technical ability, a greater sort of artistic sensibility, a greater sense of voice and of direction that the student will want to take in their career.
I see.
Our photography program is very broad, so there isn't any there isn't any house style in our photography program. Photography program, you can specialize in any kind of area of photography that you want, which is very freeing, I think, for the students. So you can be doing constructive fine art photography, you can be doing fashion photography, you can be doing documentary photography.
Anything within that area,
yes. And within our photography program also, we have a number of faculty members who are internationally recognized video artists who also teach. There are 1 or 2 modules in which video art is in the foreground, because that's obviously nowadays one of the principal visual media that you find in contemporary art galleries.
Yes, right. Well, we both know all the progress within the media world, where people used to shot with VHS, we talk about it, and then now everyone is able to make a simple video, a simple photo with just their mobile phone. How do you see this creative industry related to the youngsters these days about their career? I mean, you see the changing or the shifting of the industry itself.
It was a much more structured and mapped out kind of business when I was starting as a director.
That's true.
Nowadays, it's a much more fluid kind of operation. There's work that our graduates can get in all sorts of areas, not necessarily in what we would consider to be formal television or in feature film making. There's a lot of small-scale audio-visual work that gets done for websites, video casting, YouTube, advertisements for Instagram and other kind of channels. So there's a lot of flexibility, and there's a lot more work than there used to be. And there's a lot more people getting trained, of course, than there used to be as well. But we find that our graduates, across all of our audiovisual programs, find career niches that are very variable. They can go from being people who make have a very flourishing small business making corporate videos and little commercials for the internet, to people who are making high-end feature films that go to the Cannes Film Festival, win awards around the world, and so on. There really is that kind of range of possibility. So although we consider ourselves to be a very prestigious institute, regularly within the top 3, sometimes number 1 in the UK for this kind of education, in film, in journalism as well. Nevertheless, we welcome students who have aspirations of all kinds. You don't have to want to be a world-class feature film director, although, of course, a lot of people do want that.
They do.
But also, it's possible to say, well, you can just make a decent living doing this kind of thing, and you don't have to be at the very, very highest end, because, of course, very few people make it to that stage.
Right. Within your programs, within your faculties, would you mind highlighting what are the programs that you're offering? You mentioned about journalism as well.
We have a number of different kinds of subject areas that we work in. So I've talked about film, journalism, photography. We also have design programs at under and postgraduate. We have a mass communications program at undergraduate. We have advertising and public relations program at undergraduate. We have an advertising program at postgraduate. We have a new MA in sports journalism, which we're beginning. We have an MA in journalism most generally. We have masters in publishing. We have undergraduate in English literature studies. We have film studies as well as filmmaking. We have music. Have I forgotten anything? We have other performing arts, theatre.
There's a lot. You've got a lot.
We have acting at undergraduate and postgraduate. We have theatre direction. So Our theatre program's very, very, very successful. Every year we put on 15 shows at the Edinburgh Fringe. Obviously the biggest arts festival in the world. We have 15 plays,
shows.
yeah,
15
every
plays.
year.
Yeah.
Sometimes written, often directed, always acted by students from our programs, masters and undergraduate.
Also,
actors.
they do involve on a reality theatre work.
Yes, they actually put on these shows during the Edinburgh Fringe. That's part of their academic program.
I see. Right.
And these shows are very, very successful. They actually make money, which is very unusual at the Edinburgh Fringe. Most people make a loss.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned about, may I say, the ranking that Edinburgh Napier being #1 for film and creative stuff. Can you elaborate on that? Like,
well, film and journalism are where we rank very highly.
Right.
Regularly within the top 3 for UK institutes. Sometimes #1. It just depends. It fluctuates a little bit. Where do these rankings are established by national newspapers by and large, and they're looking at various kinds of things. Student satisfaction. Where do students go off and work? Do they get good jobs? Do they earn good incomes? Who are the faculty members? Our faculty is very interesting at the School of Arts and Creative Industries because we have a real mix of highly academic, professional, career academic people who are mostly focused on academic research. Plus, we have people who have had long careers in the industry. 30 years potentially at the top end of the industry, who want to give something back at the end of their careers, and they come to provide our students with all of that experience and expertise. And then there are lots of people who are a mixture of both of those things. We also bring people in from the industry on a temporary basis. So we have a lot of master classes, we have a lot of people coming in just for one session to share their industry expertise. There's also opportunities for students to get work experience, get live briefs, for instance. So integrated into our design programs, there are connections with design companies in the city, and those design companies will give the students briefs for work, and that becomes their academic work. Is an actual brief for an actual job for an actual company to design something. So I think it's that kind of strength that these rankings are looking for. It's the mixture of a high degree of critical academic study and the highest possible degree of industry expertise within so many of our faculty members, and that level of preparation for industry practice as a creative practitioner.
You're right about the rankings, and we are aware very much that Edinburgh Napier University is a very well-respected institution for their creative faculties, and it is something that is now, I would say, it's not like years before where everyone is just focusing towards economic subjects, business subjects, but now everyone is getting involved on media, everyone is getting involved on film, journalism, even when you say it's about sports journalism, actually it is something that is now developing very well in Indonesia as well. So it's been a very interesting talk. Would you like to say anything to Indonesian students or any potential Indonesian students if they're thinking of going to Edinburgh Napier for your program, or whatever message would like to pass on?
Yes, please apply. You will be very welcome in Edinburgh. Make sure that you are as well prepared as possible. Some of our programs are competitive, but we are always keen to encourage students from all over the world who bring their special insights and their special experience, which will always help the overall experience of all of our students at Edinburgh Napier to understand the world better in terms of media, communications, art and design. Because that kind of breadth of understanding of the world is what helps people to be creative overall. So, welcome to Edinburgh.
Thank you so much, Paul.
My
That
pleasure.
was a very interesting talk. Demikian ngobrol-ngobrol saya dengan Paul dari Edinburgh Napier University. Silahkan hubungi kami apabila teman-teman ingin menanyakan lebih detail mengenai program studi yang tersedia dan bagaimana caranya agar kita bisa memulai terjun di dunia kreatif. Ya, terima kasih, sampai jumpa di video kami selanjutnya.